Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans. You already know what it is, and you already know what it do. One time for the fan, man. It's serious, man. We back at the house, back at the crib. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. I don't know if y'all got the notification or not. StreamYard being messy tonight. A lot of things been messy recently, but StreamYard is one of them. But I don't know if it's still set on the UK time or what. Because when I went live, it was like, oh, you're not even supposed to go live yet. It's too early. Like, no, it's on too early. I'm on time. One time for the fan, hit that like, hit that share, hit the subscribe button. You know, people jumping in. You know, people gonna be watching. You know, people gonna be listening. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all the Facebook groups. Shout out to all the admins that allow One Time for the Fan in your groups. Falcons Rise Up Family, Falcons 2.0, Unleash, Falcons Mafia, Falcons this, Falcons that. From the window to the wall. It's going down in a major way tonight. No Bodie. No Chase. No Kiki. It's your boy, Jack Spade, holding it down for One Time for the Fan. Just got back from London yesterday, so there's a lot to talk about. Some of y'all seen the podcast over the weekend, the quick update that we gave y'all right after the game. I think we did 1-2 as well Saturday night with Scott Karisic. Big shout out to Scott, who pulled up to the Falcons party Saturday night. I was able to chop it up with him too as well. So many people I was able to meet. So many people I was able to chop it up with. Go ahead and jump in the chat. Run it up. Run them comments up. Run the likes up. Run the shares up. Run the comments up. We talking Falcons football. We talking Falcons Jags. We talking London. We talking Falcons Texans. We're talking Desmond Ridder. One time for the fan. Hit that like. Hit that share. Hit that subscribe. Of course, you know, we're going to go to the comments in a minute because the comments is always lit. Falcon fans is stupid lit in the chat. We love talking with all the Falcon fans. And I'm still in mode like Bodie and Kiki and Chase is here, y'all. So, you know, if I slip up and be like, yo, Bodie, I got to remember that I haven't done a show by myself on the podcast probably in about almost a year now. So every other podcast has been pretty much everybody with us. Either Bodie is here or Chase is here, a special guest is here or Kiki's here. So tonight, you're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the boy Jack Spade. But yes, I just got back from London. It was a great experience for those who haven't been to London. Get the opportunity to go if you can. A lot of things to look out for when you definitely go out there. One is the train system, the way they get around out there. Some people got cars. You see them here and there, but everybody's taking the train, man. You're on the Jubilee line, you're on the Elizabeth line, you're on the Heathrow Express, you're heading to Paddington, St. Pancras train station, Westminster. Everybody's on the damn train, man. So just be prepared when you go to UK. That's how they rock out there. Best way to get around. Also had a nice time in Amsterdam too as well. Big shout out to everybody over there that I met up with in the Netherlands, and big shout out to everybody that I met up with in London. But man, it was great to see for the shout outs. Atlanta Falcons, Germany. They would, when we go to Germany, Falcon fans, when we go to Germany, this shit finna be stupid. Germany got a nice little Falcons fan base out there. A lot of Falcon fans that I saw Saturday night in the Falcons party had on their Atlanta Falcons Germany logos, shirts, and everything. They were passing out their promotional stuff. But yeah, super cool time meeting those guys. Scott Karisic also as well. First time meeting Scott Karisic. Of course, he was here on the podcast earlier last year, and fans love talking with Scott Karisic on Twitter. And it was just great to get a chance to meet him and his wife too as well. And then randomly walking through by Buckingham Palace Monday afternoon, here comes Scott Karisic again, coming from the Hyde Park side of the park, where I was looking over. I was like, that looks like Scott Karisic randomly. 2:00 in the afternoon in the park in London. But I tell you, Falcon fans, it's just great when you go on these trips. Because even though the Falcons did lose, I done been to all these, I done been over 20, I've been to 20 stadiums already, man. You feel what I'm saying? Most of these stadiums I done been to more than once. I done seen the Falcons win. I done seen the Falcons lose. Don't get mad at me because I'm out there having a good time and enjoying my life. I done see some people say, Jack, you spend all that money to go over there and watch them Falcons get their butt kicked. Man, I'm spending all this money to go for an experience, man. I spend all this money to go have a good time, man. It's an experience, man. How many people in this chat been in London, man? Be for real. Come on now. It's an experience. When the Falcons go play in Germany, guess where I'm going to be? Right there in Germany. Falcons go play on the goddamn moon. I don't care. If I find a ticket to the damn moon, you best believe I'm on that motherfucker. One Time for the Fan, episode 134. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot to talk about tonight. No Kiki, no Chase, no Bodie holding it down. Let's go to the chat. Chat's always lit. Bring your questions, bring your comments. We'll talk about it here on the screen. We will not be disrespectful, though. We will not be disrespectful tonight. I don't know if y'all are disrespectful on other people's podcasts, or I don't know if y'all are disrespectful on other people's chats, but we will not be disrespectful tonight, Falcons fans. Look at this. One-timer, diehard Falcon fan, Drake Shoe statement. Said, one-timers, what's up? All right, no playing around. Let's get to the hard stuff. Dre, you saw when I went live, too, as well, at the Wembley Stadium on Sunday. So, totally different Jack you get here today, y'all. Totally different Jack. Plus, the alcohol's kicking in, too. Kiki, no. Chase, no. Bodie, no. Dre, what we got here? He says, StreamYard hate. StreamYard hating on the brother. Hating there, little boy. Hating on me. It's all right, though. We'll get StreamYard ready for Sunday after the Falcons beat the Texans. Lowski's in the chat. Say, just hit that one. Hashtag one-timers. Hashtag the fan club. We in the chat. We got a lot of stuff going on tonight. We want to talk with all the Falcon fans. So if you're listening, if you're watching, come on, hit that like button, share button, subscribe button, YouTube. Drop your comments, drop your questions. We'll talk some Falcons football. Bodie is out of town tonight. Chase, you still got to finish putting up this drywall over here because, we don't accept that. We don't accept that. That type of work right there. He said he was a handyman. He said he knows what he was doing. So I'm about to go ahead. I'm about to call Philip. One time for the fan. Kenny is in the chat. He said, one time, Jack, glad you made it home safely. Broski, we need a real comeback game. Yes, Falcons fans, we do need a real comeback game because now you were 2-0. The Detroit game, you lost. Disappointing loss a couple weeks ago where Falcon fans were like, all right, bounce back game against Jacksonville in London. Jacksonville's coming off a severe loss too as well, where it was like, you can beat these guys. You got them. Sure enough, that did not happen. You are now on a 2-game losing streak, sitting at 2-2. We'll go around the division and talk about Bucks, Saints, and the Panthers, the 0-4 Panthers. But yes, it's very disappointing as a Falcon fan to see the past 2 games here. That at least one of them, well, both of them you definitely could have won. But if you look at the Jacksonville game, I was hoping for a win on that one, man. Not only just because of the London trip, but just personally. Some of you guys might know there's a personal reason why I want the Falcons to defeat those Jags. But we go into the chat. Chat's lit. Marcus Boyd is in the chat. He said, one time for the fan. It's going down in a major way. Shout out to LaMarcus Boyd, who I also ran into in London. DSGB Hall's in the chat. He said, one time, Jack Dolo. Jack Solo Dolo, man. Don't home game, away game, podcast, Solo Dolo, man. But I'm holding it down for the Falcons fan base. I'm holding it down for the Falcons community. Holding it down for one time for the fan, as you guys know. Drake, your statement said, glad you made it back safely, my guy. Those trips to London are not easy, too, as well. It's a rough 8.5-hour flight where you damn sure ain't finna be sitting in your seat for them 8 hours. Ain't finna happen. Can't watch John Wick 3 times. Can't happen. Nope, gotta get up. And the food that they give you, too, as well, be careful. Don't know what flight you're taking, but I would not recommend the egg croissant or whatever that was. Egg, that nonsense. That's the breakfast one. And the pasta too? No, sir. Not doing it again. It will be Chick-fil-A on the next flight. Guarantee you that. Jeff Wolf is in the chat. Said, amazing you started on time, though. Jeff Wolf, the manager, is here. Gotta be careful, y'all. Jeff Wolf, the manager, is in the chat. LaMarcus Boyd said I was rocking the Piccadilly line and the Jubilee line. I tell you, Marcus, The Piccadilly line is like the line for the slums, boy. The Jubilee line is nice. You get a little bit of that AC, nice, cool, air conditioned type flow going and on a nice, warm, type of hot day when I got on the Jubilee line. And then the Heathrow Express was nice. And I forget the other train line. The Elizabeth line was nice. But we on that Piccadilly, boy. Shit. You gotta tuck your goddamn chain. You gotta hide your phone. Shit, boy, I'm looking around like, what the fuck going on over here? Hit my goddamn head 3 times. I said, what the shit? Every time that damn door opened. Shit. Piccadilly line something different. Piccadilly line something different. William Amy's in the chat. He said, I don't trust Arthur Smith play calling. William Amy's already in the chat. Here we go. Where do we start? Where do we finish here, Falcon fans? Jeff Wolf said, experience is what it's about. True statement. It's what it's about, y'all. Going to these games, home game, away game. There's a fan right now in this chat that wants to go see the Falcons and the Saints. There's a fan right now in this chat that want to go see the Falcons and the Titans play in Tennessee. There's a fan right now in this chat that can't wait for the Falcons to go play in Vegas next year in Vegas. It's about the experience sometimes, y'all. Even after the Falcons lost that game. You know what I did? I went ahead, walked around the area, did some sightseeing, went back to the other side of London, got some good food, went to do some more sightseeing. I'm from out of town, man. If I'm sitting in a hotel room, oh, man, the Falcons lost, man. What would I do, man? Man, fuck that. I'm outside. I done flew all the way across to go see the game. The game is one thing. It's Sunday at 2:30. Otherwise than that, you know what I was doing? Bro, I was in the Netherlands, running around London, South London, North London, Tottenham side, Chelsea side, West Ham. Man, I was everywhere. The game is just one thing that happens on Sunday. I know what we're there for, but after that, you still find things to do. I ain't finna be in the room moping around. Come on, Falcons fans, man. I kept it real, man. Y'all seen me go live right after the game. Hell, you seen me go live at a 2-minute warning in Wembley. Shout out to Kiki in the chat. Shout out to everybody here in the chat. Dre, true statements here in the chat. Deloach is in the chat saying I'm heartbroken, but it's still Bird Gang. It's always Bird Gang. It ain't never gonna change. We ain't no yesterday fans. We not no damn. We wasn't fans last week at 2-1 going into this game. Some of y'all been here since the 60s. Some of y'all been here since the 70s, the 80s. Man, we die-hard Atlanta Falcon fans, man. We die-hard Atlanta Falcon fans. That's why I the name of the podcast is One Time for the Falcon fan base. What the hell is going on out there in the Falcons fan base, man? Y'all letting a couple players rip this shit, rip the fandom apart, man. Come on, man. We gotta stick together, man. We have to stick together. We have to go out here and show the NFL that the Falcons fan base is out here. Just like how they talk about the Bengals fan base and the Eagles fan base and the Cowboys fan base. They're going to talk about us too. But y'all got to stick together, man. It's too much back and forth going on for nothing, man. For nothing. Stick together. We got to show up at the Benz on Sunday packed out. You saw what happened in Detroit? All right, cool. You saw what happened in London? All right, cool. But guess what? You got to go play the goddamn Texans on Sunday. Season ain't over. Come on now. Rock with me, man. Y'all know where I'm going to be. We're being the fucking Benz, baby. I'm being the Benz with my diehards. I'm being my Benz now. I'm going to be out there. What can I tell you? Next week is I'm going to be against the Commanders in the Benz. Guess I'm going to be after that? In Tampa. Guess I'm going to be after that? In Nashville. Then this shit stops me. You think for 1 second this shit stops me, the Falcons lost? It don't stop me at all, man. I'm a diehard fan. Bodie can tell you. Kiki can tell you. Chase can. Chase! Hey, you can tell him I'm a diehard fan. I don't hear the power saw going on. What the fuck going on over there? He need to fix that damn wall. William Amy, we lose back-to-back. It's over with because he's losing trust in the locker room. We'll finally find out soon if people are losing trust in the locker room. Sorry, I've been drinking earlier too, but We'll finally find out eventually whose trust is being lost in the locker room. I haven't heard nothing much yet. I see a 2-2 team that has to get prepared to go beat the Texans. Shout out to William Amy because he's a diehard Falcon fan here in the chat. But some fans will agree with William. Yep, there are some tensions growing in the locker room. Something's going on. I don't know. Are we in the locker room? Does anybody in this chat here have a connection to somebody in the locker room that can tell us that there's some AB shit going on in there? I ain't talking about this AB either. I'm talking about the fucking AB from long ago. So let's wait and see about this tension going on. You heard Mac Hollins' comments. People talked about the video in London on the sideline. Then you hear Mac Hollins' comments. So let's just wait and see what happens here, Falcons fans. But my goal is to make sure that when y'all join this podcast, that we all in here together. Everybody in here in this chat, every single person in this chat wants to win on Sunday. Do not come in this chat right now and tell me you do not want to win on Sunday at 2-2. Week 5. Be for real. Do not come up in this chat and tell me that you do not want this team to win on Sunday. As much as you have the hate for Desmond Ridder, as much as you have the hate for the O-line and the play calling and Arthur Smith, you cannot come in this chat and say you want this team to lose on Sunday. This is not week 16, Falcons fans. This is week 5. It's a long season ahead. But if you want to talk about the QB, I told y'all I can throw 80 on the run. You motherfuckers. It's going down in a major way. My boy, big boy, Brewski is in the chat. So I need to go to Germany with you whenever we play in Germany. Could be next year, brother. Could be next year. Falcons having the international rights now into London. And of course, they flew over to London earlier this year. Met up with some of the Falcons Germany fans that I met up with Saturday night in London. And it's very possible that they could be playing in there next year. I see the Falcons playing in Germany before 2025. So that's within the next 2 years. They're going to be playing in Germany. And I'm going to be there. No matter who we play against, I don't care. If it's a home game, if you're looking at next year's schedule and it's a home game, it could be who? It could be the Giants. It could be Kansas City. It could be Dallas. Who else we got as a home game next year? Kansas City and Denver. No, Denver was the away game. Vegas was the away game. The Chargers. We'll see. DA Hunter's in the chat. It's all about the experience, bro. That's what it's all about. Having a good time. Enjoying ourselves. Deshaun's in the chat. Good to see you there, Deshaun. It's an R&B trivia. What 80s male R&B group made Tonight? Yeek? Get some? Tonight. Oh, come on, man. That's damn, man, what's that group called? Shit. 80s made group made Tonight. He might have got me on that one. I was gonna say Belle Biv DeVoe, but I think they're more 90s, ain't they? Belle Biv DeVoe. 80s. I don't think Siri on that new iOS update can even get that one. Jeff Wolf's in the chat. He said, Chase, finishing the garden. Shit. That's tough. Chat's going crazy. Drop your comments. Drop your questions. We'll talk about Falcons football tonight. You know what we love doing. What's up, Jack? Carrie's here in the chat. Glad he made it home from London safely. Love all the picks. Really hope we have our get right game this Sunday. Let's go 3-2. Carrie's a believer. Shout out to Man City today, too, on a big win, too, as well. Deshaun's in the chat said, this is Coach Smith come back to his senses game. LOL. One-timers. Falcon fans, you're going to call out a lot of things when you talk about this team right now. When you talk about what they're doing wrong at 2-2, you're going to talk about the offensive line. You're going to talk about the play calling. You're going to talk about the miscommunication in the secondary. You might even talk about the pass rush a little bit. Of course, you're going to mention Desmond Ridder. You're going to mention a couple things on the wide receivers with the separation, the running into each other. But then again, you got to look at this is the first 4 games in the season, and you have to have faith and hope that Coach Smith and this team is going to be on the get right very soon, because you're 2-2, you're not 0-4, you're not 1-3. So let's just wait and see here before we start, bringing out the chopping block on some of these players and some of the things that you see so far. I mean, I think everybody's a little bit disappointed to lose 2 games in a row after winning 2 games in a row. I'm disappointed too. But let's wait and see what this team does. Now, I will say, if you're sitting at 3-9, you're sitting at 4-11. Oh man, we're gonna talk some. It's gonna be heavy in these chats, and we're gonna talk about it. But we still got to talk about how the Falcons can get better. And we always want to see the Falcons get better. And at 2-0, we were riding out. We were hiding out. Man, let me tell you something. We was on the high horse. A lot of Falcon fans saw the team at 2-0 the first 2 home games and was like, whoa, you beat the Panthers? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. You beat the Packers? Okay. So let's go beat the Lions. Didn't do that. All right, cool. Let's bounce back and beat the Jags. Didn't do that. Now everybody's on edge. We're back at home for the next 2 games. Let's see what this team does. All right. Most of y'all been in this chat and in this podcast for a while now. This ain't the first podcast. We're over this episode 134. So we've talked about Falcons football for a while now. Falcon fans, like, let's keep it real. Right? Falcons have lost, we've talked about it. Falcons have won, we talked about it. Like, let's be real here. This is what one time for the fan is for. One time for the fan is for the fan. I'm a fan. You're a fan. Let's keep it real. It's going down in a major way. Drake, your statement said, oh, man, say it in so, Jack. The pasta is not good in the UK. So, no, the plane, Delta. And, I fly Delta a lot, but that pasta that they serve going into the UK, it ain't it, bro. And that egg croissant or calzone, whatever it was, ain't it, bro. Ain't it. I tried to make a post, try to warn some people. A lot of Falcon fans that, follow me on social media was probably looking at it like, I saw Jack's Space post. We'll take the chicken. We don't want the pasta. We'll take the chicken. I should have thought about it. Then I tried to go back and ask for the chicken. It was like, nah, we all out. Fuck my life. That's what you get. $2,000 flight. Can't even get another goddamn plate of chicken. $2,000 flight. LaMarcus Boyd is here in the chat. He's having a good time. He is having a good time. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. I got esports soon. I got people tagging me all over. I'm big on that esports shit. And we got these leagues coming up. Big boy Brewski's in the chat. It's vacation mode. Got to make the best of your whole trip. William Amy's in the chat. Agree or disagree, Falcon fans? Arthur Smith is losing confidence in his team. Whoa! Arthur Smith is losing confidence in this team. Whoa! That's a lot to say right now at going into week 5. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens going forward. But I just can't say that right now going into week 5. But that's why we respect Falcons fans' comments here on One Time for the Fan. That's why we put them up on the screen so Falcons can read them. They can agree. They can disagree. But we ain't going to start no beef up in the chat. We ain't going to do all that. Lisa Shepard, Blogging Dirty Series, said, after the game, I did run into Lisa Shepard too as well in London. It was great seeing you too, Lisa. After the game, we went to a pub with some of the Atlanta Falcons German fans. We were there for a couple of hours chilling. The Germany fans are super cool. Got a chance to meet about 4 or 5 of them, but it was a lot more of them inside there with the Falcons Germany shirts and everything. But it's great to see people repping the Falcons all over the world, especially when you meet up in a location like London. That's crazy because you should have seen the airports. Going past this gate, more Falcon fans going to New York and North Carolina, Texas and Arizona and Utah. And you just like, wow, it's Falcon fans everywhere in this world. So super cool seeing all those Falcon fans show up in London. Dre said, damn right, this season is not over. He's in the chat. He is having a good time. We got a Falcon fan in here. Aurelius Freeman's in the chat. People tired of dying hard. Let's put pressure on Blank to do more than turning a profit every year. We want a winner. That's what we want in the chat. Everybody here in the chat knows that what Freeman is saying here is we want to win. We want the product on the field that continues to win. We want a Super Bowl. That's what we want. And I'm sure it's going to happen. I'm a believer in this team that is going to happen, right? There's so much positivity that was going on before the season started. And then, of course, now sitting at 2-2, looking at the schedule, I still think that this team can turn the corner and get things going at 2-2. We're not 0-4, not 1-3, but Aurelius Freeman has a point here that we want to win, and we have to win consistently too as well. So big shout out to the Falcon fan here in the chat. Jeff Wolf said, Max said it. He's a real dude. Lucy and John Moreno, who will be checking in to the Benz this Sunday from Texas, but they ain't representing them Texans. They represent the Atlanta Falcons. Dirty Birds need to beat them Texans. Lucy and John Moreno's here in the chat. Shout out to Tish. Tish says ready to win and glad to be back in the Benz. So let me tell you something. For Falcon fans that's going back to the Benz this Sunday, it was like, all right, it was a long 2 weeks for you season ticket holders that don't travel. It was a long 2 weeks, probably waking up, actually, going to your friend's house, doing your barbecue for the Detroit game or wherever you watch the game. Probably chose to work that day because some people try to pick up some extra hours for the holidays coming up. But the London game, you had to get up early as hell for to see the Falcons have a disappointing game that we did not expect. And I'm sitting in the stands like, what is going on out here? Put me in, coach, if you're not going to do that. Put me in. I could throw 80 on the run. But still, you saw some good things. You saw some bad things, right? But you saw a 2-2 team that's early in the season that's getting ready to come back home and ready to fight to win against the Texans, who is also coming up now on their up and up. So it's going to be a good game. Got 2-2 teams coming to the Benz. So Tish, shout out to you. Paul Hopkins, Paul wants to win. Who can disagree with that? We all want to win. Falcon fans, Millie Mills is in the chat. Said one time, what's up with it? Don't forget, man, hashtag the one-timers, man. Hashtag the fan club, man. It's going down in a major way. Big shout out to all the Falcon fans that's checking in here in the chat. Silk was the name of the R&B group. God, Deshaun got me again. It's going down in a major way. Paul Hawkins said, these Texans fans out here, they here already? True Burgers in town already? Cheryl Gibbons is in the chat. She wants to know right now, Falcons fans, Ritter or Heineken? Heineken? That's what y'all doing to that man already? Is that what we doing here? He ain't even touched the field yet. Or we got giving this man beer names already. Taylor Heineke, we will see what happens here in the next couple weeks. Who do I want at quarterback? Jack Spade. I've been telling you all this for a while now. The 80 on the row, the 80 on the run throw, like it didn't happen just once. Like it happened like 10 times, right? So don't want to talk about it too much. Don't want to take up too much time tonight. But yeah, that 80 on the run throw, got that shit down pat. So for me, I'm waiting to see, they've talked about Desmond Ridder still being the starter. He's going to go out there Sunday and he's going to have to play much better than he did not only the last 2 games, hell, the last 4 games. You're going to have to get a better Desmond Ridder going forward if you want to do what the Falcon fans believe with this team. Go win the division, go to the playoffs. It's going to be a great moment around week 16, 17 with a winning record, and we're getting ready to do that. But we got to get over these humps first, right here early in the season. Losing to Detroit in that way that you lost, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London the way that you lost. You can't do that Sunday against the Texans. You got to come out and be at your best. So that goes from Desmond Ridder to the offensive line to anybody, to Bijan, to defense, secondary, the defensive line. Everybody has to be a part of this because there's 53 people out there trying to make sure the fans are happy at the end of the game. So Falcon fans, be ready for this Sunday because everybody probably sees a 3-2 Falcons team leaving out of the Benz. But the last 2 weeks, it has been disappointing. It has, because nobody likes to lose. Because nobody likes to lose. William Amy's in the chat, diehard Falcon fan. He said, too inconsistent on offense, man. We need a new scheme or something. The play calling, we did talk about that earlier. That is another thing to add to your list of what is going on out here. The offensive line you can have on your list. People will probably say Dahlman. People could probably say Lindstrom hasn't been on his best, or even McGarry too as well. You could look at the secondary too, and then like William Amy's saying, what is going on with the play calling, Falcon fans? So the check downs, the short screens, the it's wild what we've been seeing so far with the play calling. But let's hope that on Sunday it's a little bit different. What we saw against the Panthers and the Packers is what we need to see times 2 against the Texans on Sunday, because this is not a weak Texans team. I'm going to give them credit for what I've seen the past 2 weeks, but you're coming into the Benz where I like this home field advantage against this team. I really do think the Falcons can walk out of here with the win, and I'm hoping that Sunday night we're not gonna have a disappointing podcast. So let's get to that. Jeff Wolf, he's in the chat. StreamYard's on that. They are on that trippy tonight. Would be nice to see something of some progression like Jets saw with their QB, Zach Wilson. So there are a lot of Falcon fans in this chat that want to see a better Desmond Ridder. We all understand that. I think the performance of what we got the past couple weeks is not what our diehard Falcon fans and our Falcon fans who watch from Australia to Canada to New York to California, we wanted to see a team complete, especially against the Lions and the Jags, and we didn't see that. So now Falcon fans can point fingers and say, this is what I saw. This is what I saw. And as a fan, you do have the right to do that, right? But what we need to look at too as well is, what can we do to get better? If William Amy was in that locker room right now, what would William Amy say to the team to get that team better? If Jeff Wolf was in that locker room right now, if Dre True Statement was in that locker room, if he was in that war room with Coach and Terry and Ryan Nielsen, what would he say? You know, to see how we can strengthen this team. Let's look at how to get better going forward. Dre True Statement is in the chat. So yeah, Jack, after 2-0, we were on our high horse. Then the Lions and Jags said, get y'all ass down. Art got to gain my trust back. Let's get it done. And Dre, as a fan who was sitting at 2-0, and now you're 2-2, and you're pointing out what you see, ain't nothing wrong with that. We are diehard Falcon fans. But as one time for the fan, what we do over here, you know, we trying to bring the fans together. So anytime y'all jump on this podcast, just know there's going to be a lot of positivity going on. We got that one Jags fan that be up in here. Then we got a couple Saints fans who like low-key lurk every now and then. Then we got a couple 0-4 Panther fans. They ain't say shit because they can't say shit. We're going to go around the league too as well to see what's going on in the NFL, because not only has the Falcons have been playing bad the past 2 weeks, there's other teams in the NFL who was probably a step higher than the Falcons through the media in the NFL of where they were going to be at the end of the season. And right now they are behind the Falcons from what I see so far. Not only power rankings wise, but record wise too. There's some teams out there getting slapped up. Did you guys see the goddamn Giants game the other night against the Seahawks? Like, dude got sacked like 60 times. It's crazy. But it's a lot to go over here tonight on One Time for the Fan. Lisa Shepard's in the chat. I flew Delta going, but had a leg on Virgin Atlantic coming back. Virgin Atlantic is the truth. It was my first time flying them. Great leg room, and they fed us well. So I did take Delta going there and back, going to probably Germany when we do that. I'm looking to Virgin Atlantic if they have a good flight heading over there, because I do want to try some different flights here and there. But I did hear some good reviews about Virgin Atlantic, Lisa Shepard. So I'm glad to hear that you had a safe trip there and back. William Amy said if he was in the locker room, he said, I don't want to hear no damn excuses this week, boys. That's a diehard fan. William Amy is in the chat. Paul Hawkins said earlier that not only does he want to win, but now he's back to say that we want to win. That's what's going on here in the chat, y'all. We all want to win. We all want to be a better Falcons team. At 2-0, we was feeling good. Some of us had the first 4 games of the season after being 2-0, like, okay, we can probably beat the Lions or the Jags. Okay, let's just say we can't beat the Lions and the Jags. We got to split one. We should be 3-1 coming back to the Benz. No, we're 2-2. So fans now are really starting to see it like, hey, Falcons, get back on the ball here, which I'm sure the Falcons will. Cosmos Ways in the chat said, did anybody really have us at 4-0 in the first quarter of the season? I call these last 2 losses. We'll bounce back with the win on Sunday. Big shout out to Cosmo. But look at this now, Falcon fans. Some people said Falcons would be 11-6 this year, 10-7 this year, 12-5 this year. You called the wins and losses, but you didn't call what games they were going to lose. So even when I said the Falcons are going to get 10 wins this year, that means they're going to lose some games. But they're still going to get 10 wins in my book. And if that's going to happen, they're going to have to turn some things around because, hell, I've been pretty damn close the past 2 seasons of the wins. And I believe this year, I'm looking at the schedule still and the team that we have. I still think we can get the 10 wins. I still think we do. Oh, Paul Hopkins said he's in Houston. That's where he sees all them Houston fans out there. That's where he sees them at. Big shout out to Paul Hopkins here in the chat. Paul Hopkins says Texans defense is not to be played with. Falcon fans, it's going to be a good game Sunday. We got to keep it real. Every game is a good game in the NFL. We got to keep it real. But looking at the schedule ahead, the Falcons do have an opportunity to make some things happen and still make the playoffs. Like, don't give up on the Falcons just yet, Dirty Bird Nation. Don't do that. Baby girl ATL, shout out in the chat. Y'all need to watch what Terrence Mathis said on his podcast. Shout out to Terrence Mathis, man. I'll go ahead and hit up Terrence and see if we can get good old Terrence over here on the chat, man, or get over here on the podcast, talk some Falcons football with y'all. You know we love bringing special guests here to the chat. We do have a good lineup of special guests coming up too this season on One Time for the Fan. Leandro said he had rookie mistakes this year. He's still going to have growing pains, especially with the shaky O-line. Leandro is now in the chat giving his thoughts of what he sees here from the Atlanta Falcons. And that's cool because all Falcon fans here are sharing their opinions of what is going on with the Dirty Birds because they want to see a better team. I guarantee if everybody here in the chat was able to go into the locker room and talk to the Falcons before the game or at practice, you would probably state what you saw against the Lions and what you saw against the Jaguars. But don't you think Coach is doing the same thing? Don't you think Terry and Ryan and the rest of the group in the gang and even Grady is reminding these, Calais, they're talking about it. It's big. You don't want to lose 2 games back to back because now you got some fans looking at you like, hey, what the hell is going on here? You guys were looking good at 2-0. Those past 2 games ain't what it was. So we bounced back against the Texans on Sunday, which now Falcon fans has been seeing the Texans how they've been playing. And now they're looking at this game like, oh, my God, C.J. Stroud finna come in here and throw for 1,000 yards, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a good game on Sunday between the Falcons and the Texans, but I do like our chances of coming away with a win. Quentin's in the chat. He said, hopefully it brought Art's ego down. Shout out to Quentin here in the chat. Woody P. Lovelace is here. He said, rise up. Going down in a major way. Celebrity is here in the chat. Walking out of Wembley Stadium, talking to a lot of Falcon fans, saw some Jag fans that we were picking on the night before. Big shout out to Mac. What's her name? Angela, Rico, over there in Jacksonville, Jaguars fan base. They came by the Rise Up tour party Saturday night. Randomly, I just heard a bunch of booing going on. I didn't know what was going on because Georgia had to win the game. And I looked down, I see a bunch of Jaguar fans in the building. But they came by, bought some drinks, partied in the establishment with Falcon fans, and didn't have no problems and nothing like that. We was all trash talking and talking football, but it was all in good spirits. But walking out of Wembley Stadium, see a bunch of Falcon fans were over there chatting it up. Sure enough, I look to my right. I see a bunch of security, right? Like Navy type security, like military dudes, right? So I'm looking around, I'm like, who the hell is that being escorted over there into that limo? Sure enough, it's Uncle Steve. I say, yo, Uncle Steve. First security guard, he turned around, he ready to square up on me. I said, yo, get your man. Uncle Steve was like, yo, chill. That's Jack Spade. Big shout out to Uncle Steve out there in London. We have been talking about doing a podcast, getting special guests, however we can do it on however his channel or my channel. But it was great to talk to Uncle Steve, and of course he was going live too as well. So I shared some thoughts on Uncle Steve's live about the Falcons and of course about Desmond Ridder too as well. But it's great when you're out there in London and you get to see all these Falcon fans that you not only watch their shows and their content too as well. But you see them at home games and away games because, it's just a good feeling, man. You're from out of town, man. You from out of town. But big shout out to Uncle Steve's Lounge here in the chat. Mactown Dirty is here in the chat. He said, "What's up, people?" He's dropping them football emojis. What's going on here? Millie Mills said, "Just make it easy for Ritter, Arthur. Damn. Slants, drags, screens, etc. Just make it easy." Millie Mills, if he was in the locker room, I'm sure he'll share his thoughts on what's going on with the Atlanta Falcons as well. Quentin Lavender is back in the chat. He said, "We want to see a better team because we have a better team. Ritter, not trash. Just need to learn from the mistakes and correct them one day at a time." I think every quarterback, shout out to Quentin too, I think every quarterback can listen to what Quentin said right there. And even Patrick Mahomes, even Jalen Hurts, even Josh Allen, they all made mistakes on Sunday. Some of them got the win from it. Some of them got a loss from it. But they all do need to go and look at their career and say, hey, to get better, to be the GOAT, to be the greatest who's ever played this position, I do have to make some corrections on some of these mistakes that I've been having, because it is embarrassing to see, an interception here, then an interception there, and then a sack over here. And it's like, how is this possible when you know that this team could be playing much better than this? So every player, not only just the quarterback, every player has to go look at what they've been doing the past couple games and say, how can I get better? I think we saw the other night, what's the kid name? The rookie from Seattle. Witherspoon, Devon Witherspoon. Bro, did you see that Monday night game? So think of what's going through Witherspoon's mind week 1, week 2, week 3, getting to that game against the Giants in New York, right? I mean, come on, Falcon fans. Like, all these players, you can see Drake London sitting on the sideline. The picture was after the game when he was sitting by himself. I'm sure going through his mind is, how can I get better as a wide receiver, right? Same for Bijan. How can I get better as a running back? Same for Calais, even at his age. I'm sure he's probably looking at how he can get better every snap. So big shout out to Quentin there for dropping some knowledge on some Falcon fans. Uncle Steve Loud's in the chat. He's having a good time. Kenny's in the chat. Says, Spade, I need to talk to my man DR9 and Art and say this is what 80 on the run looks like. If I was in the locker room with the Falcons, I'd say, all right, fellas, come with me. They're going to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is he doing? I'm going to tell Coach. I'm going to say, Coach, tell them come with me. I'm going to tell them, everybody line up on the sideline. We're like, all right, guys, let me show you what 80 on the run looks like. All right, Hodge. We get Hodge out there. Burn him, Scotty. Toast him. You over here. I need Scotty over here. Drake, you can come over here. And Pitts, I'm going to get you the ball. So you get over here too, Pitts. So I'm gonna break down the play. Hopefully it's raining that day too. That's what happened when I threw 80 on the run. And yeah, I won that game. One time for the Falcons. One time for the Atlanta. What the fuck? I'm going all over the place. One time for the fan. It's a great time talking with Falcon fans here tonight. Drake Shoe statements here in the chat. He said, I think the issue isn't that we lost, that got fans upset. And most of us still believe that this is still our division. But it's more of how we have not been playing our brand of football and embarrassed. The embarrassing thing, Dre, is you look at the Lions game and you're like, all right, no way that team is going to show up in London. Right? That Lions game is like, no way. You just beat the Packers in that type of atmosphere at the Benz, which was loud. It was crazy. And going into the fourth quarter, you knew what it was. It was a back and forth game. To go into Detroit and then see that type of performance, and it's like, all right, wash it off. But then to go into London and see that type of performance, it does have you thinking just a little bit, but it shouldn't let you give up on the team, right? William Amy's in the chat. William Amy said, we are a better team than the New York Giants. I think on paper and on film this year, we are a better team than the New York Giants. Right? But think about this, William. I know we're diehard Falcon fans, but let's get into the mind of some other NFL fans out here. What do you think Jets fans are saying right now? How they was riding the high horse when Aaron Rodgers was there until Aaron Rodgers went down. What do you think they're saying right now? What do you think Cardinals fans are saying right now? How do they look? We think Cardinals season ticket holders who paid all their money, PSL holders out there in Minnesota and Carolina, how do you think they feel? Every fan in the NFL wants their team to be the best team. Every fan. Buffalo Bills fans, Kansas City Chiefs fans, Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you think they're feeling? I know they got the rings in the past and all this stuff, but going today, present time, right now, how do you think they're feeling? Their groups are going crazy too. They're talking about Kenny Pickett too. I saw a post the other day saying this is what you get for playing this type of quarterback. Still, everybody's gonna have something to say. You're 2-2. You're not 0-4. You're not 1-3. And let's have some hope here that they go in there on Sunday and they get the job done. Because you get a 3-2 Falcons team when we cut this podcast on Sunday night. Oh, the chat looking goddamn different. But it's always going to be about how to win here on One Time for the Fan. Because we all saw them lose on Sunday. We saw them lose against the Lions. We saw it. But now it's about how to win against the Texans, how to win against the Commanders, how to beat a Bucs team that we thought was not going to even look like this. That's what it's about going forward. We can't sit here and worry about the Jags anymore. Jaguars fan not even in the chat now. He was talking all that shit up into the game. Game's over. He ain't even in the chat. He got what he wanted. He got the win. He's gone. It's in the past. It's in the past. We got to focus on what's going forward in the future. You got a 2-2 Falcons team going into the Benz on Sunday. They are 2-0 at the Benz this Sunday. At the Benz already this season. They got a rookie quarterback coming in there, which I saw a second half Falcons team. Outside of that, the Desmond Ridder 4th and 3 to Drake London in the end zone when he couldn't catch it. If that was a catchable ball and he would have scored, you would have had a game on your hands. Because when we scored going into the second half, you saw a different fight from the Falcons. Yeah, of course, it wasn't 100%. Oh, my God, yeah, these guys are the great. No, you saw just a different fight from the Falcons in the second half. I know because I was in the hallway with a lot of Falcon fans, and everybody said, all right, we're going back to our seats now because this is the second half that I think we can win. You don't win it in the first half, you win in the second. Falcons definitely came out with a fight in the second that they wanted to try to win. Somebody tried to light the fire in them, but it wasn't enough. It happens. It happens. But this week against the Texans, you got to come out hot. You got to come out strong. You have to be the team to be up 20-0 going into the half, not tied 20-20 going into the half. You have to be the team to be up with the ball going because it looks like they're going to probably kick it off. If they win the coin toss, they're probably going to end up taking the second half. So I'd love to see them score before the second half is over. Clock management down to the 2-minute warning. That Benz crowd is going to be rocking. Home field advantage, hostile environment. You got to love it. But come on, Falcon fans. Don't give up on the team just yet. But from Drake True's statement to Deloach to Lisa Shepard to Carey to DSGB Hall, Leando, everybody here in the chat saw something wrong with the Falcons the past 2 weeks. Everybody. I saw it too. The Falcons saw it too. I guarantee you. They're going to do what they can do to work on getting better. And it starts this week at practice going up against the Texans on Sunday. Jermaine, Swerve, Summers is in the chat. Offense, it's too strong for us to not put up some points. We got to score and keep the defense off the field longer. I must say, shout out to Jermaine. The play calling for me is one of the things I'm looking at. I know people are mentioning Ridder in the offensive line, but some of the plays that I have seen, it's just, it's got me looking like, what? I wasn't in the stands even calling it because Kiki was in there. I was in there calling the plays out before they ran in the chat. I was like, this is going to be a tough situation to get out of when you do stuff like this. But then again, I'm not the coach. I don't work for the Falcons. So as a fan, I'm just going to say what I see. The play calling is the thing that had me like, what is going on here? But I want to see a better Falcons. So that means I need to see some better play calling. That's what I want to see. One time for the fan, Drake True statement. We get ready to wrap up here. He said, "Yeah, let's just show them Jack's highlight tape. That would be 3 seconds. The team can't get back. I'm taking my the field. We're gonna do a couple throws, but the 80 on the run is gonna be a part of it." It was going down in a major way. Millie Mills is in the chat. Y'all, Drake True, hold on, man. Y'all better put some respect on this 80 on the run, man. I told you it was a cold, rainy night in December now. It was a cold, rainy night in December. Matter of fact, I'm going to get Bodie to tell the story next time on a one time for the event. When Bodie gets in here, Bodie was working concessions that night. So he saw the play. Millie Mills is in the chat. Can't wait to buy the Madden with Desmond Ritter 9 on the cover. And look back at this week and say, boy, we went through some ish. All right, maybe a little reach. I said this to a fan the other day. If this team is what we really believe in, you're going to look back at week 16 and 17 at this game when we're going into the playoffs and say, man, I remember when I posted that. Oh, shit. It's not like I told you so moment, but it's just like, believe in the team. We're all Falcon fans here. And none of y'all burn y'all jerseys on Sunday. Ain't none of y'all throw y'all jerseys in the trash. Ain't none of y'all who had season tickets gave back your season tickets. I don't want to hear this shit. If you're posting for likes, comments, and attention, I guess, shout out to you. But you didn't do that. I was upset on Sunday too, but guess what? I hopped my ass back on that plane and head back to Atlanta and get ready for the Texans on Sunday. But I'm not finna be over here and be upset and throw this around and throw that. No, I'm not finna do all that, man. Got too much stuff going on in my life, man. Quentin got too much stuff going on in your life. Jeff Wolf, William Amy, Millie Mills, Leando, Carrie, Kiara, Eric Parker, Demario, Steve Karesic, Steve Karesic, what the fuck? Scott Karesic, Miles Garrett. We got too much stuff going on in our lives, man. We finna be sitting over here teary-eyed about the Falcons in week 4. Come on now. Quentin's in the chat. He's spitting facts. Quentin Lavender said, when you win, they talk. When you lose, they talk. Block it all out and play Falcons football, period. We did better last year. Look at everything that worked. Forget the new shit. When you win the Super Bowl, they still going to talk. I said it. You're going to have haters at the parade of the Super Bowl. Whenever we win the Super Bowl, you're going to have a hater mad about something. Wearing a Falcon jersey, he's going to be mad about something. It's just normal. It happens. Every single fan base in the NFL has it. It's normal. Dodger fans, Mets fans, Yankees fans, Braves fans, Bulldogs fans, BYU fans, fucking UCLA fans, Eagles, Boston Bruins, Colorado Avalanche, Nashville Predators, Atlanta United. Every team has it. They have those type of fans. You know how many people are in this world? Nobody's going to think on the same page when it comes to that stuff, man. Even at the highest moment, even at the greatest point in the Falcons' career of winning the Super Bowl, you're still going to have people upset about something. Bodie said he ain't seen it. He must have been working on the inside concessions that day. The ones in the concourse. I forgot there ain't no TV over there by him either. He must have heard the cheers and the oohs and the ahs. William Amy, we ran the ball like 60 times per game. Well, I missed a comment from William. We ran the ball more than we passed. I just don't understand Arthur Smith. We're going to understand Arthur Smith in the next couple weeks. These first 4 weeks with Desmond Ritter, these first 4 weeks with Bijan Robinson, these first 4 weeks with Jesse Bates, David Amiata, Matt Collins, it's not enough for me. I got to see more. I got to get to week 10, 11, 12 before I start out here, picking and pointing fingers. But I tell you right now, it's not enough for me at week 4. There's a long season ahead, and we could be sitting at week 9 at 7-2. We could be sitting at week 9 or week 10 going into a playoff type of atmosphere for the last stretch of the games, knowing that this team has got it together. But Past 2 weeks doesn't say that. For most Falcon fans, the past 2 weeks says this team needs a lot of work. This team is not as good as what people say it is. This quarterback is not as good as what people think he is. Nah, man, you just got to get everybody on the same page, man. Remember that year we went to the Super Bowl? Everybody was on the same page. Every single play. But you've seen it. Anything that was called out there, the execution was on point. And that's what you can get this year if everybody is on the same page. But we're going to find out how good this Falcon team is because I ain't going to talk trash, but Falcon fans will say, you got the brakes beat off you the past 2 weeks. But now is the time to get back. Now is the time to get the motor running. You got week 5, week 6, week 7, and week 8 coming up. You got another 4 games coming up. This season you got a long season ahead, Falcon fans. You know what I'm about. You know what I'm in here doing. I'm repping the Falcons 24/7. I'm repping the Falcons everywhere I go. So when I tell y'all that I'm going to be at this game on Sunday, hooting and hollering for a win, because I want to see the team win. And if we lose, I'm going to say, hey, look, a 2-3 team that needs to be much better than this. But I don't see that. I see this team coming away with a win on Sunday. Sunday night will be the next podcast. Come back in here. We got a lot to talk about. Lisa Shepard is in the chat. Terrence Mathis said on his podcast that he doesn't understand the offensive concepts Smith is running. I definitely need to go back and look at Terrence Mathis' podcast. For me, I seen some of the film breakdown too as well with the Kyle Pitts and the Drake London play. And, you know, something is wrong there. Lisa Shepard, something is wrong there when it comes to the play call. That's not what we've seen against Carolina. That's not what we've seen against the Packers. But that's, the Lions and the Jags game, something is wrong there. But you have a Houston Texans team coming in Sunday where if you have a great week of practice, if you do everything correctly like you need to be doing, when you get out there on Sunday, you're going to make it happen. The fans will be happy. You will walk away 3-2 for another home game the following week against the Washington Commanders. Falcon fans, it's always great talking to all the diehard Falcon fans in the chat. Drake True Statement said, F it Falcons. Finish the season 15-2. Rise up, please. Let's go, man. It's going down in a major way. Quentin Lavender. Gel takes time to hold and stay together. Jeff Wolf is in the chat. Said 15-2 is good with me. Jermaine Swerve Summer says, go Falcons. It's going down in a major way, Falcon fans. I'm glad that y'all had a chance to talk Falcons football with me. This is the first time I did the podcast by myself in a year because normally Bodie would be here. Of course, my brother, Chase, whenever he's finished sandblasting this wall over here, he's usually here too as well. And, of course, Kiki, who's probably in the chat lurking. A big shout out to her too as well because, one time for the fan is for the fan base, y'all. We're trying to have a good time this season. We had a great time in London meeting up with the fans and traveling around from different city to city, go through the sightseeing, and then we went to Wembley Stadium, first time there, and it's amazing. These experiences, man, you just can't get back, man. And I love every minute of it. So for all you Falcon fans here, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. We got a lot more to talk about on Sunday. Falcons, Texans. Let's come away with a win. Die hard Falcon fans. I'll see y'all soon. Rise up, man.